Who cares? Who cares what you're saying or what you're trying to say or whatever?
Look, everyone.
Holy shit, Charles. We told you you can't be on the show.
It's Mr. Charles Brown.
God damn it. This asshole. Fuck his face. Look at that dumb, balding piece of shit. He's got holes in the back of his head.
What were they thinking when they designed these characters? Just draw some shit on a round head. Peanuts. Who is the Peanut in Peanuts cartoons?
I don't know, they don't even look like Peanuts. They look like,
Is his last name not Brown and his last name is Peanuts? Is he Charlie Brown Peanuts?
But also, like, it seems like Snoopy's the main character.
Yeah. We have a Snoopy game here. I think we played it.
Yeah.
Remember Snoopy's Magic Show?
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of fun. We were having fun.
Mildly fun, yeah.
It was just a really rudimentary, simple, like basically palette swap of other games that came out, but it was fun.
To sum it up, there's a type of block that just exists until you walk into it and press A, and then it disappears.
Yeah.
That's how simplified the mechanics are.
It was pretty fun. I played it again myself a few times. Just, sometimes I'm in the mood for Snoopy's Magic Show, and I just pop that right in my Super Game Boy and go to town. Have a good time. There's some speaker in the back of his head. That's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Is that where he talks from?
I wonder what happened to this guy later on in his life. He's already bald. He's probably just living with Snoopy, having a romantic relationship.
He probably married Snoopy.
Yeah. What's this? A pile of cars?
That's a school bus.
Well, I know what this is.
Hop in.
Well, this is what a non-magical school bus looks like. Yeah, whatever.
I just got my.
And here, look at this. How did these go along with each other?
There's some kind of proportions problem there. It's a tiny, teeny, weeny little man drives that car, and all the kids go to school.
This is Charlie Brown's car. Here's the local school bus. He has to make some compromises to fit into it.
I'm just kind of going through my little. I love these little dinkies, these little mini ones.
Yeah, I remember these little ones.
These are cute.
Uh-huh.
Going through my dinky collection here. I don't remember where I got them, but...
This has a well-sculpted interior. I don't know if you can see it there. Yeah, it's got a little interior there. It actually has a trailer hitch.
Well...
In case you need to hitch something on.
Here's a dinky I've had, like, for my entire life, pretty much. I love it. It's, like, one of my favorite dinkies, like, ever made.
In what countries do they call them dinkies? That seems like a European thing.
Here, we call little toy cars dinkies.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that an international thing?
Where else this happens, but...
Look at that thing. Isn't that amazing?
It's got a door that opens.
Yeah, demo that door.
I'm trying to demo the door, there.
Look at that. It's like a little mail truck or something.
You can stare into the abyss in the back.
And it's like a 3-wheeled mail delivery
Oh shit.
What?
It has a single ring of some sort. Oh shit.
What?
It's a candy. There's a candy in there.
Holy shit.
It's one of those rocket
things.
things.
My god, it's a rocket. Here.
Oh man.
Show that.
It's a rotten rocket. Check this out.
How long is that?
I don't know how good the lighting is on this camera. I think there's too much shadow on this one. But yeah, it's a rotten rocket. It's completely brown. I completely forgot what I was going to talk about for this growing.
Star Fox is out.
Star Fox is out.
Star Fox Zero.
It's getting lots of mixed reviews.
It's just exactly what I thought. People are just not gonna get down with the controls.
Yeah. It's a binary. It's got one of those binary indicators of quality. Like if you like motion controls and garbage and
if you like trash, you might like this. Did people really want another Star Fox 64? Like, I mean, we still have Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
Like, they just kind of I mean, I'm not saying...
I want another Star Fox 64, but...
No, you don't... Like, you already have that game. What you want is something that works like Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
This one is trying to be Star Fox 64. Like,
yeah,
it's
right.
It has the exact same story. And the same story beats. And the same plot progression.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not...
Yeah, that's
it didn't have to be like that.
It also has like well, as far as I know, they removed the motion controls being bleh. Hold on.
Mandatory?
No, just a second. I'm gonna cut that out.
We're in null space right now. We're being cut.
Yeah, we're
being cut. I can feel it. Ow.
They
Don't cut me, please.
They put in a setting to turn off the motion controls for
Thank God.
for the plane.
Yeah.
But not for the Landmaster. And not for the little floaty guy with the robot.
I don't know.
So now, even if you turn it off, you still have to move the control around at some point.
So stupid.
Like, normally they would have a setting like that for people who are maybe laying in an awkward position or in a small, like, cramped little chair.
I'm never going to be comfortable playing that game. I'm
Well,
never going to be able to relax and play.
The gamepad's too heavy, too.
I play Star Fox 64 3D and the 3DS to relax. I'm not going to go, it's time for some Star Fox Zero. I'm going to play some Star Fox Zero right here. I got my gamepad.
Yeah.
I'm having such a good time.
And you're trying to...
my wrists.
You're trying to look at the screen on the thing at the same time.
Trying to look at both.
Yeah.
That sounds so fun.
God.
It's like all of the fears people had as soon as they tried it at E3. They were like, "Oh, this is weird," and then it's just nothing changed since then. It just stayed. Oh, this is weird.
People still just hate it with every fiber of their being. There's no avoiding it. It's like
I would even accept like some kind of touchscreen thing. Like it would be cool if you could like lay the gamepad on your lap, right, and do a Kid Icarus style, and just kind of you got the stylus, and you're like aiming the reticle, right, with the because as long as the on-screen game is at the same aspect ratio as the gamepad screen, you can use the stylus to aim the reticle anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Right? And then that way, the game doesn't have to render twice onto the gamepad, meaning it doesn't have to look like shit.
Yeah.
Man, that game looks bad.
Well, it has two cameras at all times.
I know, yeah.
Because the first-person cockpit view was put into the gamepad.
Yeah. The game is being rendered twice.
Yeah, which is a neat idea.
Yeah, but it makes the game look like boink.
Yeah.
Like Star Fox Assault looks so much better. It's
crap. Because it was developed by Platinum, and they love their 60 frames per second. Well, maybe they called it Star Fox Zero because it's a reboot.
Or there was zero effort. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that, but because some people seem to be liking it.
I never thought about that before now. They did call it Star Fox Zero from the get-go.
Some people seem to be liking it, and but they all have a caveat in their review saying that it took me a long time to get used to the controls. So there's no way I'll just be able to go try it and then go, oh, I want to play this. So I can't go demo the game anywhere. It really needs a demo. Like, really bad.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to buy it until I can try a long demo to get used to it. And not only that, I'm too busy with Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
But if the review is, like, it's like once they settle down and people seem to be like more comfortable with it and people start liking it more, I'll be more interested in trying it. But in terms of just the scope, to use a vague buzzwordy term, it just doesn't really interest me as much as I thought it was going to, because I wanted Star Fox like a huge like adventure, like a huge space faring battle game with lots of factions and stuff and improving on the previous, like the lore.
Yeah.
I guess I could say, but it's not really lore, it's just like things that happened. Like I noticed, I was watching some gameplay for Star Fox Zero, and it was like Andros didn't know who Fox was.
Well, he doesn't.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
It's like.
I just wish that wasn't the case.
It's like every Spider-Man movie, where they just start over from the beginning.
I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not like Sonic, where like everyone hates the new characters.
Yeah.
And they can just ditch them all.
People,
I mean, new characters. More characters in Star Fox means more ships.
People are fond.
More playable ships. That would have been a good thing.
People are fond of Star Fox and Star Wolf and their characters and, you know, Falco and Fox and Slippy. People quote them all the time, right?
Yeah.
They want to see those characters do more things.
Yeah.
Right? They're not annoying. Like, they're not like, I don't want to see this character ever again, right?
Yeah.
Can't they just not have a story? No one was thinking that, right?
Like, I mean, the new Star Fox games were mediocre, but that's just because they didn't work like Star Fox 64, which people loved so fondly.
Like, I think they should have really just, I was hoping for Star Fox Zero, or maybe if there's going to be another one, if this one sells. It's probably not going to sell that well. That they just really just, you know, blow the lid wide open and have a villain other than Andros, and have Star Wolf, Star Fox, Star Cats.
Yeah.
Just
maybe
go crazy.
Maybe just it should have been Star Fox 2. Should have been the sequel to Star Fox that has all the characters from Star Fox 2. And you know, maybe instead of ripping off 64, which already exists, maybe rip off this game that doesn't exist yet. I managed to miss out on that Doom beta.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I played a little bit of the Doom beta. I'm not as harsh on it as a lot of the early reviewers and early players of the beta. People were smashing the beta, saying they hate it and all that, but I think they were just, that was just an impulse.
Yeah.
And because like they were going in and it's like the Doom beta, it was like Halo. It was Halo meets like Unreal Tournament meets like a little bit of like your standard Call of Duty thing, because it was like UT, Unreal Tournament, but like being an arena shooter where it's fast and frenetic, the combat, but the characters kind of walk slow.
Yeah. So
it's not as fast as UT, and the characters, they look like they're Spartan Marines from Halo. And
they jump like they do in Halo 2.
Yeah, I found that
it should be noted that the multiplayer is developed by a different team.
The beta. One thing I liked was that it has a lot of RPG elements, right? Like most shooters have RPG elements when they can't make the combat interesting.
Yeah.
They make it so you have like sunk time fallacy in getting items and stuff.
Yeah.
But one thing about that I thought was kind of cool was that when you win a match, you can get a thing called like a hacking module.
Yeah.
And you can equip that on your character, and it gives you and they're consumable. Like you can run out of them, you can consume them, and when you die, you can select a hacking module to turn on, and it'll give you a bonus that will like last during your next stage that you're alive playing. Yeah. And some of them have to do with how you died and all that. So I had a hacking module that let me see the person who killed me through walls,
Ah, yeah.
which is cool.
Oh, yeah, so it's just the one person.
Yeah, like
So, like,
stuff like that.
There's no unlockable, like, gimmick that lets you see people through walls or anything like that.
Well, hey, maybe later on.
Maybe later on.
But
yeah. That would be a little broken.
But it's consumable.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can run out. They can run out. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of cool like that. I like that. I didn't like the design of the characters at all. There was nothing interesting about the way they looked.
Yeah, I think so too.
There was nothing Doom about them.
Yeah.
They should have had no shirts. There was no doominess in the characters.
Yeah, like the Doom Marines had exposed arms.
They had a suit on that exposed their abs.
Yeah.
They had an ab hole.
Yeah, it exposed. They had the ab hole and exposed hairy arms.
Just to show everyone their muscles.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, they got rid of that. It's so stupid of them to make something that looks like everything else.
Yeah.
If you ask me, they really got to go back and redesign how the characters look in the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I don't know about
but
the
that's
main...
how they're going to look in single player, too, I think.
Are you going to be seeing a lot of other Marines in single player?
Oh, yeah, well...
I don't know.
I mean, that...
I'm only excited for the single player,
stuff,
really. And I'm excited for the single player, and I'm excited for the multiplayer if people start using the snap map a lot.
Yeah.
That might be cool. But anyway, to go back to the beta, the weapons looked a little unbalanced. I noticed people were using the same weapons a lot.
Yeah.
But that can be patched easily and fixed.
Yeah. It's a beta.
The weapons, they looked good, but they didn't, like, scream Doom to me. Like, the weapons looked a lot like UT weapons. They looked like some kind of futuristic rifle instead of, like, some kind of mechanized, like, not steampunk, but like a late cyberpunk weapon.
Like real weapons.
Like I was thinking, yeah.
Real weapons made of metal.
Like the way the stuff looked like in Doom. They had a strange kind of Art Deco kind of angular look to everything. Yeah. Everything looked really strange in the original Doom.
Well, it was like, I guess you could half-ass it and say a 90s look.
Yeah.
It looked 90s like.
Like I wanted like a bazooka that looked like just the way you'd imagine a futuristic bazooka would look if you were in the 90s.
Yeah.
But there was nothing like that in the multiplayer. The combat is just normal. I don't know. It's not that interesting. A lot of people were saying it was just there's nothing interesting about it, and they're kind of right. But I played 2 levels. I played one level that was just in like a hot, like what looked like some kind of really hot lava processing facility thing, where it was just lava everywhere and it was mechanical and it was okay. But the second stage I played was like a lot better. It was like hell, and there was little portals and stuff like that, and there was like runes on walls and stuff, and it looked really doomy. Yeah. In the second map that I played, and that gave me hope for the single player. It might be cool. And I did get to play as a revenant. I got a demon sphere thing with transforming into a demon.
The game has a smash ball.
Yeah. How that works is a demon rune will spawn, and first person who gets it transforms into a demon, right? And then if you kill that person, they can drop the demon rune, and you can take it. So I killed a demon, I got the rune, and I turned into a revenant. And I just flew around the map shooting guys because I had like the jetpack, and I was like, "This is cool." And
hopefully they'll have more demons.
Yeah, it was a lot more.
I'd like to turn into an archvile.
The most fun I had was shooting the demons when you could finally see them. There was only one on a map, like 1% of the time, that somebody actually had the demon rune and could use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool, but. I mean, the demo, it ran really well. It looked good.
And for the sake of comparison, I mean, people compare it a lot to Quake Live, sort of unfairly, because Doom was never really an arena shooter.
That's the thing I'm noticing.
It's a really old game.
Yeah.
And it was...
It's not a multiplayer game.
Like, the multiplayer was extremely unbalanced. Like
Yeah.
the super shotgun and the rocket launcher were
Yeah.
pretty much the only weapons.
Yeah. The super shotgun was in the beta.
You only play Doom at Deathmatch just to mess around. It
Yeah,
was
no
never a
one-
competitive.
Yeah,
thing.
I never considered Dune to be a multiplayer game ever.
Mhm.
But
So they had this multiplayer that they pretty much had to make from scratch.
yeah, it bothers me that that's the first beta they had.
Yeah.
Because that tells me that that's what they're focusing on.
Mhm.
Like, it worried me that it was a multiplayer beta. I was just like, why can't I just play a beta of the game?
Yeah.
And I was noticing that reviewers and stuff and different publications and all that were talking about the demo. And they were talking just about the multiplayer, and they weren't talking about things that would relate to the single player. And then they were saying that it needs to be a lot faster. It needs to be like, you need to be able to have a fast multiplayer combat like Doom is known for.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait.
Fast multiplayer.
Multiplayer combat that Doom is known for. It's not known for that.
Yeah.
And I was reading it and I was like, I couldn't believe what these people were saying. They were
Mm.
saying, like, they never actually played Doom, and they were just saying what they thought was right.
Yeah.
I think this might go down as one of those times where they shouldn't have let people try it. And it might hurt the sales.
Mhm.
Like how I think the Platinum demo for Final Fantasy 15 is going to hurt it. Like, that's another thing. Final Fantasy 15 just released a second demo. The Platinum demo. Which is, like, absolutely not a good representation of the game at all.
Mhm.
It's nothing like what the game is.
Yeah.
And a year ago now,
I was shocked by that.
yeah, about a year ago, they released episode Dusk Eye, which was exactly like what the game's going to be like.
Mhm.
And that was only for people who bought Final Fantasy Type 0 HD.
Yeah.
They're the only people who get it. And you can't even buy a code now for that off eBay or anything,
Mhm.
because the codes have all expired by
Oh
now.
wow.
There's no way to play that demo unless
Great.
you already have it. I have the demo on the PS4, and I love it, but the Platinum demo was nothing like that, and it's just weird. They released a gameplay demo, and then they released the tech demo. The gameplay demo came out a year ago,
Mhm.
and now, months before release, they released the tech demo. So people are going to go play that tech demo, the Platinum demo, and they're going to be like, wow, I wonder what this game's like. And then it gives you absolutely no indication of what the game's going to be like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see it turning people off. It's a mistake. I don't think they should have released it.
Yeah.
Of course, I never would have said that right before it came out. I would be so excited to try it. And now...
I think it was like I think it was trying to surprise people with the boss at the end, because the boss at the end is a real boss from the game, and like
That's the only part that's fun.
You're playing as Tiny Noctis,
Yeah.
and he's like he's a little kid. He's got one 3-hit attack combo, and
Yeah, it's just Kingdom Hearts.
yeah, it's just Kingdom Hearts, and you're fighting imps.
Yeah.
Blue imps that look like enemies from Kingdom Hearts. And
then you get to the end and you have a boss fight, and he grows up into adult Noctis. And the fight, and you actually get to experience what the combat might be like.
mhm.
At the last second.
Yeah. It's like it's a huge contrast, and that's why I think it might be intentional, but
It's
it's still
confusing.
stupid, yeah.
It confused the hell out of me when I got to it.
It wouldn't
I had
be
no idea what I was doing in that
It wouldn't
fight.
be confusing if they didn't already release that first demo that
Yeah.
was more complete.
And that first demo, it's really different now from what the first demo was like. In the original demo, you could activate weapon skills by pressing a button. Now you have to hold back or forward or left or right on the analog stick while attacking to activate that weapon skills. And that uses MP. And it's just a little bit hard to get used to.
Yeah.
Like, doing things is using MP, and then in the middle of a combo, Noctis will just stall because he's out of MP.
Uh-huh.
It's off-putting if you're coming off of, like, Devil May Cry,
Yeah.
because it's not exactly like that. It's weird. It's got this strange passive-aggressive combat. It's really weird. Like, you hold O, and Noctis will run into attack automatically,
Yeah.
right? And then Noctis will start attacking. And then you're supposed to move the analog stick to do the special moves and all that.
Mhm.
And then press square before an attack to dodge the attack, but dodging and the special moves use MP. So you're kind of like just managing third person what Noctis is doing. It's kind of weird. And in the demo,
you're commanding them.
Yeah, in the platinum
yeah.
in the platinum demo, you have the whole party, and they have the party attacks and all that and stuff, and they can heal you, and you can heal them, and you use items on them and all that.
Yeah.
And none of that's in this demo.
Yeah.
And that's so important to what the game's going to be like. And they also said they have no intention of releasing another demo. That's a mistake.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, they don't want that something that people will be playing. They don't want people to play too much of it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're releasing Final Fantasy 15, a Final Fantasy 15 movie, and a Final Fantasy 15 anime. Trying to get people so hyped.
Yeah.
Because the game is probably so in debt. They probably spent so much money on it that they have to sell, like... Okay, everyone who owns an Xbox One or a PS4 has to buy 3 copies each, okay? Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And, they somehow, financially, they're in this position where they're better off making 2 adaptations to this game, before it comes out. Because somehow that'll make their money back.
Hopefully. They're all saying, they all have this doom... Like, I noticed with all the interviewers, with talking to developers from Final Fantasy 15, they all have this doom and gloom outlook where if the game fails, it's going to be like the last Final Fantasy and stuff like that, where it can't fail. And Hajime Tabata, the director of the game, was saying that he always thought Final Fantasy was like a really big, popular brand that sold well. But then when he finally came to work on Final Fantasy 15, he finally realized just how in danger the brand was, he said. And he said that it's in danger of dying, and he said because the last few games have hurt Final Fantasy's image. And they learned that with Final Fantasy 14. When that game launched, it was a broken, buggy mess, the MMO.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had to completely relaunch the game.
Yeah.
So they took their lumps and they were like, oh my god, okay, we gotta redo this. And they probably fired some people.
Yeah.
Which they hate doing in Japan. That's why it takes them so long to get anything done or change anything. There's this general culture in Japan where it's like a faux pas to fire someone.
Yeah.
They don't fire any of these developers. They just try to bureaucratically wean them out of the command hierarchy. It's really strange. That's why it takes them so long to catch on to any trend in Japan. Like, and I think with Square Enix, they finally realized that they had to stop doing that. And Final Fantasy 14 turned right around, and Final Fantasy 15 development turned right around. Now it's almost done. Like 8 years of nonsense and screwing around, and then the last 2 years of actually working hard seems to like almost completely turned it around. Like I said.
Yeah.
And they were delivered, in terms of Final Fantasy 14, Square Enix delivered like a keynote on what they did wrong, which is amazing for a Japanese developer to admit they're wrong. Like, so they said they went all the way through what they did wrong in minute detail, and they're talking about how some slideshow came up, and they got to this slide, and they were like, okay, this particular potted plant had as many polygons as the average player character. This is a problem. We gotta fix this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're talking about what not to do.
No one would want to hang around that plant if they had a bad CPU.
No. And that's what they'd learned trying to develop Final Fantasy 14.
Well, look at 13 too. Everyone slammed that game.
Yeah.
Then they made 3 of them.
Yeah. They made that. No one liked Final Fantasy 13.
It's like they
made 2 sequels to try to get people to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. People didn't like Final Fantasy 13. Well, you're gonna get 2 more until you like it. Until you like it, you're gonna play more.
Like even 10, which was pretty popular, just got like 1 sequel.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And nobody bought the sequel, really.
No.
Not as many people. Anyway.
With Final Fantasy 13. The game was so amazingly like over budget and so overly complex and over-designed that they had to make it a straight line because they couldn't. There's no way they could coax the power out of the PS3 to actually make anything doable.
Yeah.
So it ended up being a hallway simulator.
Yeah.
Bad. And it's amazing now that Final Fantasy 15 looks better and is open world. Like, well, semi-open world, they said. Which is actually a plus. Because, they were saying that, it's like open world, but it has a story progression.
Yeah.
Which is perfect, because most open world games have no story. Because they can't...
Or a completely disjointed story.
Yeah. Ugh.
Like everything by Ubisoft.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that they're admitting the shortcomings of a pure open world game. So now they have like a really a linear story with like a high amount of freedom around that story. It's kind of interesting.
This is Katamari Damacy.
Katamari Damacy on the PS2. One of my favorite PS2 games. I love almost everything about it.
Yeah.
And then the sequel came out, and I loved it more. So it was more perfect than before.
Yeah.
And the sequel, what is it? We Love Katamari? That's probably one of my most played PS2 games. Improving on perfection in every possible way. But this game is still the original gangsta. Here's the OG.
It's the original perfection.
Yeah, this is
Before
Katamari
it got
Damacy,
over-perfected.
released on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And this is the intro.
Yeah.
This is what you're greeted with when you turn it on.
It's fantastic.
It's the whole game got the whole game has a pseudo 70s psychedelic postmodernism to it. Like it's really like you have the king is like a disco is like a gigantic disco man, but and he looks nothing like you, but you're apparently his son. And you're a strange little statuesque man with a cylindrical head, and it's got some kind of strange, grand, sweeping space opera kind of story to it too.
Yeah. All the stars are gone.
Yeah. And you're rolling up shit on Earth to make more stars.
Yeah.
For your dad, who accidentally destroyed all the stars.
Yeah.
All you do in this game is roll the ball forward into objects that stick to it and make the object bigger. That's all the gameplay that there is.
The king of all cosmos.
Yeah.
Going to the bother just for rolling a Katamari. Just for that.
The game has an unbelievable sense of its...
Went to the bother.
The game has an amazing script and an amazing sense of what its own aesthetic is.
Yeah.
And
it's great.
I don't know. Everything about it is perfect. Everyone needs to play it. The sequels, it suffers from sequelitis, kind of. Like, the sequels kind of get rehashy. And
well, like, they're over-perfect.
Yeah.
Like, the first one was perfect, the second one was too perfect, the third one was over-perfect, so it had no reason to exist.
Yeah. So I played this one, the sequel, the one on the PS3, and the one on the PSP. And there were some other offshoots after that, but I never played any of them. Yeah. The controls take a little bit of getting used to. You roll around with both analog sticks, and you turn by alternating the analog sticks, so one goes forward, the other one goes back. You can see it on the screen now.
Literal tank controls.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing at first, but once you get used to it, it makes perfect sense. Yep. The king is looking at you up there.
Yeah, I didn't quite see it there, so...
Yeah, go back and look.
Your statement's a little premature. There we go.
Oh, God. This game lets you experience gameplay from something a centimeter big to something miles in diameter without changing how the gameplay works.
Yeah.
It's completely seamless the entire time.
And it should also be noted that the the prince doesn't change size either.
No, yeah.
So he's standing at the bottom of the sea, pushing this thing that's the size of a continent.
Yeah. The gameplay
It's like an
never
inch
changes once for the whole game, so once you master it,
Here's the drunk king destroying all the stars.
You've got the whole experience at your fingertips once you basically learn how to play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's completely seamless, and they never get in your way with any kind of new stupid gameplay tricks it pulls on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sonic having a boss fight with completely different mechanics than you've been learning.
Yeah.
So anyway, here's...
and his lovingly rendered groin, too.
Yeah, I know. He's wearing tight pants and a tight shirt, and he's got some kind of disco king, and he's got like a disco ball kind of texture to his head too, and that helmet that he's wearing. Yeah, so this is the gameplay that's going to be like this till the end of the game, and it's amazingly fun, and yeah,
there's like tons of shit to pick up.
Yeah, we're very small now.
Kind of leveled up or whatever.
Yeah, you can see our size in the top left. We're 7 centimeters, 3 millimeters. Our sphere diameter. And in the bottom left, you can see the last object we picked up. Mm-hmm. And the bottom right, we have a little video display of our character. This game is also very obviously set in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is probably why it took a while for the series to start selling in the West. Like, these games like this, for example, usually don't get sold at retail too much around here. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to go elsewhere. But once they become popular, you know, it's fair game.
Humans have to be knocked over, but animals can be rolled up as they are. Strange.
Right, Katamari's eyes. Okay. You got a nice little animation there. And there's our dad.
It's not very exciting, is it? Yeah. Next time we want a much bigger one.
Yeah. We collected a lot of stationary supplies with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Pencil star.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just made a little star.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the cousins. You can collect cousins in the stages, and when they appear in the space mushroom, you can play like multiplayer. You can play as them in multiplayer, but not.
Yeah, and in the sequel, you can play as them in single player, I believe.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Oh, presents.
Yeah. Isn't that cosmetic items for your character? Am I right?
I think so. I don't know.
Let's go to the next mission.
Hold on, collection.
Anyway, this is our planet.
Data.
Do you think Shigeru Miyamoto saw this when he was working on Mario Galaxy?
27 minutes. We can believe in you for 6 minutes in Earthbound.
We can no longer believe in you any longer than that. We're going to stop believing in you if you can't do it in that amount of time. Here we go.
Yeah. These ants are so strange. I think they're too small for real ants.
Yeah. Huh. You're, like, right now you're 5 centimeters. And those ants are, like, a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of how big you are.
Uh-huh.
So those ants must just be, like, microscopic.
Yeah. Well, like, an ant would be maybe half the size of a thumbtack. But here they're barely visible. Maybe it's just Japanese ants.
Maybe they're real and we can't see them. And there's tiny little ants everywhere and they're too small for us to see.
Oh yeah, here's the turbo graphics.
I love how in Japan they had this funny idea where controllers should slot into the console.
Yeah.
How come we never got that?
I think because they're, like, as a result, the cords on the controllers were really short. So everyone sits on the floor right in front of the TV.
I noticed that in every anime, whenever someone's playing a video game, they're sitting on the floor right in front of the TV.
Yeah. Well, with like, cord lengths like that, you have to.
Yeah, but what came first? Like,
I think sitting on the floor came first.
Yeah. I know they sit on the floor when they eat food, like a bunch of dirty animals.
Oh, look at that. You can pick up the plug, but not the cord.
They sit on the floor when they eat, like the cat does.
Yeah.
God, it's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Just like animals.
Sit in a chair, like God intended. That's why God gave us chairs. Oh, it's a candy.
What is this, a meal for dogs?
It's a meal made of dogs, because we're in Japan.
Uh,
We're eating dog meat.
uh,
We're eating dog and cat meat.
yeah.
Dog steaks and
Oh, yeah. they're-
cat nuggets.
Oh, there we go.
Throw another monkey on the fire.
Just get
I'm
bait.
getting hungry.
So, once you run out of, once you reach your max, you can just keep going until you run out of time.
Throw another hobo on the fire. I'm mighty hungry. Throw another midget in the oven. I'm starving. Man, I'm hungry. I could eat 3 midgets.
Throw another Chinese in the microwave.
We have a big, like, industrial-sized microwave for Chinese people. If we get hungry, we eat a whole bunch of Chinese people.
We're having Chinese tonight.
Nice roll-up. So aristocratic.
Oh, look at that. The turbo graphics seem so small now.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
I think this is like a mixture between a turbo graphics and a NES.
What does it say?
It's like Game 2600.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's just everything
Yeah, it's just everything.
mashed together. I think there's so many objects on screen at one time and so many different models that the game had to look shitty,
Whoa.
but then they just owned it and made it look really shit, and it made it look cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, look how the people look.
They went with the style that looks like alright when it's shitty.
Yeah, I love it.
Like, it's kind of a retro PS1 thing. Almost. But more aesthetic than that. Like, intentional. Obviously intentional.
Yeah, this game is pretty aesthetic. It's got some serious vaporness to some of the characters.
Yeah. Oh, like you said, it's psychedelic.
Yeah.
The vapor is basically just modern psychedelic thing. Aesthetic. If you wanna sound
modern psychesthetic.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to know it, sound like you know what you're talking about, just say aesthetic. These little bastards are sneaky. Ah,
Look at them go. Look at the animation.
yeah.
Just barely moving their legs, sliding around.
Yeah, there we go.
Tomatoes? Yeah.
Persimmons.
All the persimmons.
I guess people eat those in Japan. Here they sell them in supermarkets and nobody buys them.
There's things at our supermarket that no one buys.
Yeah.
But they're just there.
Okay.
Oh no, you got an iron in there. That's no good.
That's not tasty.
That's not gonna be good with crabs.
No.
What's, like, this guy's house, like, it's just nothing but crabs just infesting it. His house is infested with, like, oceanic creatures.
Uh-huh.
Crustaceous, like,
Here we go.
sea bugs everywhere. There's a crab on top of that dog back there. It's, like, freaking it out.
Did I mention there's exploration?
Yeah.
You can go places that you might not think you'd be able to go. Oh. And if you go places early, that's how you find some of the cousins. They're like platforming around and getting like up here, for example.
Yeah, sometimes when you try to leave the area, you can see where you're going to go.
Yeah.
And most of the times when you start off in a house, and you can get big enough in later levels, you can pick up the house you were in.
Oh, horseshoe crab. All right.
Ew.
Fair enough. They have some meat in them.
Can you eat those? I know they're like, aren't they like almost no meat on them at all?
You can
It's
eat.
just shell.
Yeah, you can eat parts of their organs, I think.
What's it with all these ancient animals?
You can also squeeze the juice out of them.
Like, that have been around since forever. And they're all bony.
Yeah, they have
and
no meat.
All the animals that haven't evolved for a long time have like no meat on them. They're just like weird little crustaceans, and they get by without having meat in their body. It's weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think they do have different settings than just Japan. But they all look like Japan.
Really?
I think so. Because they have different, like, foods from different places and stuff. I think they just try to vaguely make it look like a...
Or maybe that was the translation team.
Well, I don't know.
We're actually in just some weird spot in Japan.
Because you do...
Like, look at those.
Like, it could just be part of the humor that you go all around the world and always end up in Japan. But...
Girly cell phone.
Or it could just be like... Or they could just half-ass some basic rendering of a different culture. And just leave everything Japanese. It's mouse carrying takoyakis.
He's getting away with my takoyakis. God damn.
Oh.
They look good wherever they are.
Mm.
Oh, is that mayonnaise? Those bottles?
Oh yeah.
That's something you don't see here too much.
Yeah, the Japanese mayo bottles.
Yeah.
They all look the same for some reason.
Here, mayonnaise is just kind of like a flat top, cylindrical thing.
Well, it's whatever the company designs the bottle like.
Yeah, that's most of the ones I see, the Hellmann's and the
Yeah.
whatever. You got me thinking about condiments now. I'm thinking about just having a whole bunch of mustard now.
Yeah.
I love it. Like the French's mustard.
Yeah, I hate mustard. In all situations.
What the? I drink some of it sometimes. Upstairs, I
amazed.
just have a
Yeah.
urge to have some mustard, and I'll just drink some.
I'm amazed by that.
It tastes so good. I don't know
That
how,
anyone can like mustard.
how anyone. I'm amazed that someone can't just drink it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like I love when you look at the ingredients on the back. Mustard. Like a ketchup is like tomato solids, water, sugar, and different bases and chemicals and shit. And mustard is usually just mustard or mustard seed because it's just like a
Yeah.
yeah. It's usually just nothing.
Mustard is mustard.
Yes.
It's like takoyaki is takoyaki.
Yeah, the only
It's made of
ingredient.
takoyaki and
The only ingredient.
takoyaki sauce.
The only ingredient in vinegar is vinegar.
Yeah.
How do they make vinegar?
This place is full of takoyaki.
Yeah.
What the shit? Is this some kind of festival? Oh look, dried squid.
Aw.
Here's something else that they eat for some
Dried,
reason.
flattened squid. I always wanted to try that.
Yeah. Well, I imagine it's just salty and leathery.
Yeah. I seen a thing before where they had
I think they have a different way of making snacks there. Like they, instead of producing an artificial thing out of chemicals, they just dry something. Seems to be the case.
I saw a thing before where they there was a bag, like a gigantic, like party-sized family bag of thousands of tiny little crabs.
Oh yeah.
And
Whoa.
they were all cooked whole
Yeah.
with sesame seeds on them.
Uh-huh.
And you took one out, and it was the entire crab, and you put
That
that in your
sounds
mouth,
awesome.
and it's the entire crab, right? It's shell and all,
Yeah.
and it's baked, and you put that in your mouth, and you just crunch it down,
Yeah.
and you eat it, and you eat the shell and all, and it's like a little chip. I want to try that. It's like chipified crabs. It's weird.
Yeah.
Popcorn crabs. There goes a cat. Look at
See,
him.
this is amusing too. Oh yeah, the friggin' animations are hilarious. This is amusing too when you walk, like when you roll up a bunch of arrows and you're just like jittering along. Like suddenly your ball's all messed up. Harder to roll. I imagine that's like an actual factor when you're trying to speedrun this game.
Oh god.
Trying to make it...
What are speedruns for this like, I wonder?
Well, just like the normal game. Because the game itself is a speedrunning thing.
Yeah, but I wonder how...
It's a speed game, so it's about going fast anyway.
It must be hard to learn. Because
Yeah.
there's probably so many different variables on what you pick up and how you do it. And...
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, like, you don't have to, like, you know that thing where it shines the Katamari a bit, and, does this weird effect?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do that to be able to pick up new things. It's all based on, like, some arbitrary number. So memorizing all those things would be very hard.
It's such a mess. Like, this game, people litter like crazy in Katamari
Well,
Damacy.
Look at these milk bottles. They're
Just lined up there.
up.
I'm just gonna leave them here.
Mhm.
Underwear just stacked up against the wall.
Oh, no.
Completely flat, rigid underwear against the wall.
Oh god, I'm getting so close. Damn it.
Oh my god. Here it is.
How lame.
Look at this. You're like down there sobbing and it's raining and thunder.
Everything.
Oh my god.
Why is your head so wide? For the record, there's nothing here. Oh.
Always succeeded in making what Stir does. Yep, here's our
Yeah.
cousins.
I have a couple cousins start out. Here's I think they're named, right?
Yeah, they are.
Kuro, Ace, Havana, La La La,
He's naked.
June, and Nick.
Where's Fumin? I remember Fumin a lot.
Oh yeah,
I think he was cool.
there's Marcy.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think Fumin needs unlocking. So yeah, that's that.
One of the cousins I remember, his head was a bowl of miso soup.
Yeah.
He had soup in his head. Like, alright, yeah, that's Katamari Damacy. Definitely check that one out.
Yeah.
Maybe you can download it on some new gaming platform, maybe. What do you think of this controller right here?
This, I would say, looks an awful lot like the standard Genesis controller.
Is it comfortable?
I would say it's mildly comfortable, as long as you hold it with your fingertips.
It's a little on the big side.
Yeah.
Alright, wow. What do you think about this controller right here?
Sleek and stylish, like a boomerang. And it has 6 buttons this time. And there's a mode button. I don't know what that does.
Well, now, how do you feel about this controller right here?
What kind of presented itself there? Actually, this is slightly more comfortable to hold than the original Genesis controller.
What would you call that controller if you had to name it?
Well, it's kind of hard to think when I'm just looking at the word performance right there.
That's the only thing written on it is performance.
See, oh my God, you're right. It's on the back. It says performance PO. Let's rubbed off gamepad made in China. That's it.
It's like no one sold it. It's like I can't figure out what's going on. Everything else had some kind of branding to it, like Turbo Touch and all that. This is just like nothing.
As for an assessment of the actual controller, it's remember that old PC gamepad that had this hole in the middle of the D-pad where you could stick a joystick in?
Yeah.
Kind of control with your hand. It's got something like that. The D-pad is actually pretty good. It's like it has a little bit of a click to it, but the buttons are abysmal.
Are they spongy?
They're sponge.
Oh no.
They feel like analog triggers almost. They're so sponge.
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, that's some swamp right there.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It's like a Shrek buttons.
Swampy old steamy piles of dung buttons.
Oh, yeah, there are no X, Y, and Z buttons. There's just 3 turbos.
Giving you the illusion of having 6 buttons when really you don't.
But like, there's also 2 different slow settings, which is weird as hell.
What is it? Slow and super slow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. It's performance.
I have no idea what to search for on the internet if I wanted to buy one of these things.
Yeah.
It's just like Sega Genesis performance controller. Performance. I don't even know where I got this.